Hello friends, this is Viraj. Welcome to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well. And we are in the month of December. ठीक है, one of the most dreaded months I would say for an aspirant. Why? Because now the focus should shift from prelims, from mains to prelims. It should shift to prelims this month and the next month. ठीक है, and then of course all your attention will be on prelims examination. It has to be. It has to be. So what should you do so that you can tackle? You could write the mains examination in 2026. देखो first and foremost ना, it really saddens me to see, you know, many good aspirants not being able to write mains. Why? Because they have not developed a hold over prelims examination. On the other hand, then there are people like me who have repeatedly cleared their prelims examination but were not able to clear their mains examination. The good difference between me and my fellow aspirants at that point of time, बहुत ज़माना हो गया उसको, so it was not of knowledge. ठीक है, it was basically not of knowledge and prelims is never about knowledge. ठीक है, let me be very frank with you. Prelims क्या है ना, prelims है कि if I tell you to do something, do that particular thing in the way in which I have told you to do it repeatedly. If you are able to do that, then what will happen is you will be able to clear prelims examination. Clear prelims examination more or less is gada mehnat. ठीक है, let me be very frank with you. It has an element of analysis. Obviously it does have an element of analysis and that is increasing over the period of time. ठीक है, but that analysis also has to be done in a certain way. I will teach you that, don't worry, we will discuss that. Teaching क्या है, we will discuss that. ठीक है, to today's video though, what I will focus upon is the weaknesses. We'll take into consideration different parameters on the basis of which prelims can be cleared. Today's parameter is weakness that students have developed over the period of time, or I have seen those weaknesses in students because of which they are not able to clear their prelims examination. So what are those weaknesses? सबसे पहले तो understand the philosophy of the examination. देखो, you have an obstacle to be tackled. Now that obstacle, that particular problem, what is the core of that problem? Now first understand that the core of the problem, my dear friends, first and foremost is that prelims is a screening examination. UPSC has introduced prelims examination so that the burden on UPSC of going through such huge number of papers in मेंस इज reduced. ठीक है, तो पहले बहुत जहर जाता था थ्रू मेंस एग्जामिनेशन. देन व्हाट दे सेड वाज कि इस जहर को थोड़ा फिल्टर करते हैं. सो दे ब्रॉट इन प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. व्हाट डज प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन इंक्लूड? इट इंक्लूड्स some basic element of knowledge and some basic element of strategy. All right, so first problem, as I told you, is not understanding the philosophy of the examination. ठीक है, it does not want you to focus upon everything with equality. What it requires you is to strategize and to have bare minimum knowledge. ठीक है, now coming to the second problem. philosophy का हो गया, उसमें से ही the second problem arises. ठीक है, not knowing what to study. That is the second problem, because you have not understood the philosophy na, कि this is a screening test. What you have also not understood, कि everything has not to be studied or everything should not be given equal amount of time. ठीक है, what I have seen is in prelims examination na, students focus more on those subjects that are difficult for them to comprehend. All right, that are difficult for them to comprehend. देखो, there is a basic difference between prelims and mains. In mains examination you have to study everything and you have to write everything. मतलब you have to answer each and every question in mains examination. In prelims examination that is not necessary at all. Screening test है, तो they want you to basically be a bit ahead of the other competitors. ठीक है, and also because it is a screening test now, what they will do is they will basically provide some obstacles to you, some questions to you which will not be solvable, which basically will not be solvable. अब आप क्या कर रहे हो, you are getting into solving all of them. You are basically focusing on prelims examination in such a way that you should be able to answer all the questions and you should be able to understand all the subjects. That will never happen. That has never happened. All right. Means का attitude छोड़ दो. In prelims examination, focus more on those subjects that will give you good returns. ठीक है. तो if I broadly see now there are 6 subjects in prelims examination. I do not count current affairs as a separate subject. So if you could get two such subjects, if you could get hold over 2 subjects now, that will basically give you 8 questions right out of 10. Then you are on the right path. ठीक है, then you are on the right path. With respect to other subjects, what has to be your focus? Your focus has to be you should at least get 7 questions right out of 10. ठीक है, how it has to be done, we'll look into that in successive videos. ठीक है, so subscribe to my channel if you do want to watch my successive videos ना, please subscribe to this channel. ठीक है. Second thing, one of subject or even 2 subjects, I will say, if you are not good in them, that is completely fine. I am not saying ki ignore that subject, but what I will say is don't orient too much time to that particular subject, because it will anyway not provide you marks as such. So if there are 10 questions asked from that subject, for example for me it was science and tech, ठीक है. सो अगर 10 क्वेश्चन साइंस एंड टेक में से आते हैं ना, व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल ओनली रीड some bare minimum stuff with respect to science and tech. For example, I'll go through NCERTs and I will focus upon current affairs, and that will give me 5 questions out of 10. और उतने ही आएंगे, उससे ज़्यादा आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू गेन मार्क्स इन साइंस. देखो, देर आर सम सब्जेक्ट्स ना इन विच यू कैन थिंक, इन विच यू कैन एनालाइज, एंड देर आर सम सब्जेक्ट्स जिसमें यू विल ओनली रिमेंबर some basic facts, some basic pointers, that's it. ठीक है, and on the basis of that you have to pick up marks in those subjects. So it's okay if you are not good in one of subject, that is completely fine, let it go. ठीक है, let it go in the sense basic minimum stuff with respect to that, read it, and that's it. That will be more than enough. All right, that will be more than enough. Next, with respect to prelims itself, the third problem that I see is this madness, this crazy behavior of students of attempting everything. Don't do it, yaar. Who told you कि 95 has to be attempted, 90 has to be attempted? देखो, if you ask me what should be the attempt, it should be 70 plus minus 10. that is my advice to you. 70 plus minus 10 depending upon the difficulty level of the paper. All right, and how paper has to be solved, on that already I have made a video on the platform of GS Core. Uska link I will provide in the description section. So that video will tell you what should basically be your strategy while solving the paper. All right, so as I told you now, solve paper according to its merits. Solve a question according to its merit. It does not mean कि just because you are appearing for prelims and somebody has told you कि 90 to attempt करना है, बेवकूफ़ों वाला strategy है. ठीक है, don't do it. It is a rubbish strategy. Attempt according to the merit of the paper, and how the paper has to be attempted, that I have already provided in that video I have already provided in description. You can go through it. Third, excessive test solving. Test solving is absolutely necessary for prelims examination, but every day orienting 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours basically. But because you are in the practice mode now, what you may also do in the initial stages, 100 question ka test you may I'm so sorry guys, 100 question ka test you may appear in 3 hours also, right? Whatever the case might be, every day providing so much of time only to solving the test, na, that is not a good strategy. ठीक है, that is not a good strategy. What I will say is 2 tests a week are good enough. Maximum 3 tests a week, not more than that, not more than that. And more than the test, now what I want you to do is, what basically I want you to do is, I want you to focus upon I basically want you to focus upon your mistakes. For example, in the first test, now take into consideration what were basically your silly mistakes. ठीक है, then go to subject wise orientation. ठीक है, and also what I will say is, from the initial days of getting into prelims. Now, don't try to write, I will say, don't try to write full mocks. One-off mocks, for example, GS Core also conducts, other institutes also conduct, all India mocks once in 15 days. So that is completely fine. That is fine because you also need to know what is your standing with respect to the other subjects. And since you are coming to prelims on the background of mains examination, na, तो ये bare minimum knowledge तो obviously you are carrying for the purpose of solving MCQs. What I will say is one full mock once in 15 days, that is, I will say, advisable. But don't do it every day. First and foremost, don't do it too frequently in the initial days of prelims preparation. And second is, do not write too many tests in the beginning itself. ठीक है, तो शुरुआत में 2 टेस्ट अ वीक एंड देन यू कैन गो टू 3 टेस्ट अ वीक. एंड मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट, प्लीज सिट योर विथ योर मेंटर्स, प्लीज सिट with your faculties and try to understand, basically try to understand what are the mistakes that you are committing. Most of the time the mistake is not from the point of view of content, it is basically from the point of view of how you think on that content. So there is an element of methodology involved in it. ठीक है. अच्छा, why that I remember, I forgot, मतलब मुझे पहले ही बोलना चाहिए था, but my book on prelims is out. So this is Prelims Cracker. Name of the book is Prelims Cracker. The book is available on Amazon and Flipkart, and those two platforms are also offering some discount. I did not see on Flipkart kitna discount hai, but Amazon is offering 40% discount, so you can get this book for around 240 rupees, and it will provide you strategy. It will provide you strategy of how to clear your prelims examination. So it is a good ammunition that you can basically carry, I will say. ठीक है. Moving on moving on, as I told you na, कि it is methodology, the way in which you study a particular subject and the way in which you answer the questions of that subject, that is very important. By the way, this is covered in the book, but still, and we will discuss it. ठीक है, आज तो I am only in a brief discussing problems and solutions. ठीक है, weaknesses and how they can be overcome. ठीक है. uh, in the next few weeks what we will do is we'll get into each and every point of it and we will make a detailed video. All right, don't worry, leave it to me. So as I told you, test in the initial stages, 2 tests a week. ठीक है, उसमें भी what I will say is most important is to sit with your faculty, sit with your mentor. ठीक है, and then try to analyze where you have gone wrong. What were the reasons that you did not arrive at the right conclusion? You did not mark in your OMR sheets the correct answer. All right. If your faculties, your mentors are basically not able to guide you, we are there at GS Core. Please approach us. We'll be happy to help. Okay, we will be basically happy to help you guys. All right. So minimum, what I will say is maximum 2 tests initially, and then focusing upon the weaknesses. Focusing upon the weaknesses. That is what is needed. Fourth point that I feel is problematic from the point of view of prelims, because of which students do not clear examination, that is excessive book list. ठीक है, get in touch with your mentors, get in touch with your faculties, and prepare a list of book list. Prepare a list for what has to be read in prelims examination, and then focus only on those particular books. ठीक है, जैसे for example, Lakshmikant has to be read for Indian polity, no doubt about that. For prelims, it is the best book. मतलब people might say whatever they want to with respect to that book. But I feel for prelims ना, लक्ष्मीकांत is the best book. For prelims, I would say it is the best book available. अब जब लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ रहे हो ना, what may happen is someone might come and tell you कि a book written by faculty A or book written by author A, उसमें से एक क्वेश्चन हैड अपीयर्ड, फ्रॉम दैट वन क्वेश्चन हैड अपीयर्ड इन 2020 और 2023 or 2025 for that matter. Then what you will do is you will go to that book and read 200 pages of that book. You have wasted your time. You have completely wasted in your time in that particular process. ठीक है, if you would have read Lakshmikant once more in that particular time period ना, the chances of you getting more questions correct, they would have improved. Why? because multiple reading of the same books now, what basically it provides you is, it provides you opportunities to keep those facts that are necessary from prelims point of view with you for a longer period of time. It gives you time to think over what you have read, and this helps you in analysis wala question. ठीक है. If you basically go through multiple books, the issue will be that you will not be able to settle down with the knowledge that you have acquired, and that knowledge will not be helpful at all. It will not be helpful at all. ठीक है. Next point, and this I will say is the star point. ठीक है. It is not understanding what UPSC wants you to know when it comes to prelims examination from a particular theme, from a particular topic. And why it is so? Because students are not analyzing PYQs. I'm not saying that students are not going through PYQs. Students are not analyzing PYQs. When I say students are not analyzing PYQs, now that means they are not able to extract what UPSC wants them to know from a topic. So fundamental right ka PYQ, now all of you must have gone through it, and you have gone through it so many times that answers now are by heart. But if I ask you, when it comes to article 21, what UPSC wants you to know, you will not be able to answer. Now this is where now the issue with respect to prelims lies. समझ में नहीं आता कि on what basis the questions are framed. Alright, I will do a separate video on it. I will conduct a separate session, I will say, in GS core. ठीक है, we have decided to create a separate session on it. So don't worry, we are coming up with this session. But that is another problem. That I will say is the star problem when it comes to prelims examination. ठीक है, star problem when it comes to prelims examination, and that is not understanding what UPSC expects from you to know. Then comes CSET. ठीक है, devil. CSET is basically devil, I will say. ठीक है, what CSET will do is it will become a silent killer of your attempt. मतलब I have seen students from management background, from engineering background not clearing CSET, and humanities वालों को तो there is a problem. ठीक है, there is a problem. ठीक है, so these are basically the issues because of which students are not able to clear their prelims examination. Now in the follow-up video, what I will do is, in the videos that will come in the course of next 1 month, we will take up one problem each at a time, and we will try to understand how to tackle those problems in detail. Abhi to what we did is, we only looked into the summary. ठीक है, no summary nahi, overview. We looked into the overview. Now we will start getting into each and every problem, and I will explain it to you how that problem has to be solved. Don't worry at all. ठीक है, so I'll stop here for now. I hope I have not bored you. Prelims examination as far as concerned, leave it to me. Completely leave it to me. ठीक है, मैं हूँ, और हम लोग प्रीलिम्स क्लियर करेंगे. हम लोग मेंस लिखेंगे, डोंट वरी. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू प्रीलिम्स, मेंस पता नहीं हाउ मच स्टूडेंट्स ट्रस्ट मी, बट प्रीलिम्स में तो यू कैन कम्प्लीटली ट्रस्ट मी. आई एम इन अ वे हार्दिक पांडे ऑफ प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन, आई वुड से. Because I was able to clear it multiple times. I did not have problem even at that point of time. I did not have much problem with respect to scoring well in prelims. So 115, 120 was something that normally used to be scored by me. So I don't think you will have that much of a problem when it comes to prelims examination, but you have to remain in touch, and for that purpose you have to touch that subscribe button. तो वो button subscribe का प्रेस करो फटाफट. ऑलराइट, फटाफट प्रेस करो, and we'll meet soon. Bye. By the way, current affairs for prelims, that particular series is still going on. As I told you ना, ये book की वजह से I was not able to make videos, but we will continue with that series, and I'll make sure कि because of that series itself you are able to gain at least 10 to 12 marks. ठीक है, at least that much marks, that I can guarantee you कि based upon that series itself. ठीक है, based upon you dedicating 5 minutes to that series itself every day ना, मैं तुम्हें प्रॉमिस करता हूँ कि 12 मार्क्स तो मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे. दैट इज़ माई प्रॉमिस टू यू. ठीक है, ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर सीरीज. ठीक है, चलो बाय. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग सो पेशेंट एंड गोइंग थ्रू दिस वीडियो. बाय, एंड ऑर्डर माई बुक. ठीक है, चलो बाय.